We lived our lives full, but no fear of God, no fear of hell, no fear of anything. Hindu is not a religion, this is a godless land. No morality, no commandments. The moment you make your body and mind into a stepping stone, you will become a Hindu. This must happen to the world. Hindu is not a ism. Hindu is a land. And over a period of time, Hindu became a civilization. Hindu never was an ism, nor is it today an ism. Well, because of political situations, power tussles that happen among people, people will twist and turn whichever way they want. But the identity of Hindu is of the land that lies between Himalayas and the Indus-Sagara, which is the Indian Ocean, between the mountain ranges and the ocean. This land is Hindu. The people who lived here naturally became Hindus, so it got referred to as Hindustan, the land of Hindus. The land was Hindu, so people became Hindu. Because people became Hindu, the nation or all the nations which were there at that time in this region became collectively Hindustan. Like when we say European, it may be French, it may be Italian, it may be Spanish, it may be now Ukraine. We don't know who else will become European. Turkey is becoming European. So, like that, different types of people, different kingdoms and empires during different times of history all got referred to as Hindustan. A civilization is not an outcome of one belief or one teaching, or it did not fall out of one book. Variety of things happened. In terms of geography, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of languages, in terms of culture, variety of things happened across this land. A variety which is quite unimaginable for most people. Over 19,000 languages developed. 19,000 languages just in Hindustan. That means there were that many cultures, that many types of people, that many kind of cookings. Yes. Various things, a kaleidoscope. Every which way you look at it, it's different. But what is it about? If human intelligence is freed from fear, guilt, and some silly reward somewhere else, whether you call it heaven, paradise, swarga, whatever you call it, some silly rewards up there, or fear of punishment, or guilt. If these three things you remove from human mind, naturally human intelligence will seek. Essentially, the idea of heaven or paradise or swarga is appealing only because they're infested with greed. What is here is not enough. Something more out there. Silly exaggerations of what you know here. If these three things are removed from human intelligence will naturally seek the ultimate nature of who we are. So in this search, this civilization encountered astronomy. Today, everybody's got intellectual property rights. India is the only country which doesn't have intellectual property rights. Everything that's Indian or that belongs to this Hindustan has been stolen and used all over the world, everybody claiming it as their own. Well, because they had gunpowder. That's a lot of power, you know. So, we encountered astronomy, we encountered mathematics. There wouldn't be mathematics in the world without this land and this civilization. No, are you all clapping? Oh, no mathematics in the school? No, that's not what I'm saying. If there is no mathematics, there is no science. All the many things that we are doing in the world today, many things we are enjoying in the world today in terms of technology would not exist if there is no complex mathematics which we encountered in our pursuit, in our search, because we had no conclusions in our minds. We had no fear, nor were we infested with greed or guilt. We lived our lives full, but no fear of God, no fear of hell, no fear of anything, because we saw the most important thing is to seek, to know. So astronomy, mathematics, music, well, there are variety of music, but if you pay attention, you will see the classical music that evolved in this land. In terms of complexity of its foundations, there is no other like it. This is not my opinion. The greatest musicians in the world will say this. When there is a complex foundation, what you build can be anything. There is no limit. If you do not have a complex enough foundation, what you build is minimal. What you can build is minimal. So there is a very complex understanding of mathematics, different aspects of it, particularly geometry, astronomy. This is the culture. Even 6,000 to 7,000 years ago, clearly we are speaking about the planet being round and planet going around the sun. We did not believe that Earth is the center of the universe. This came to us not because we were full of scientists in this country, this came to us because we were seekers. If you're genuinely into science, you must be a seeker. You can't be a believer and be a scientist. Simply not possible. Because belief means you've made conclusions about things that you have no clue about. All these things we encountered, we came across mathematics, music, astronomy, mysticism, many magical and mystical things. But we still pursued, because our pursuit was not to find this and that which we think is useful to us. We want to find the truth about our existence, the nature of what this is. In this pursuit, we pursued endlessly. As the seeking and the pursuit and the perception deepened, and it became very profound, we found nothing. When we found nothing, we said, Shiva. Then we found the basis of everything was this nothing. The greatest miracle in the universe is this, that everything comes out of nothing and goes back to nothing. Everything else, what you call as you and me, what you call as this planet, what you call as this solar system, what you call as this universe or galaxies or cosmos, these are all only manifestations. But we were not interested in the manifestations. We enjoy the manifestation, we appreciate the manifestation, but our interest is to know what is the nature of the source. We realized the source is actually not something, it is nothing. And it's not in one place, it's just everywhere. So we say Shiva, that means that which is not. Well, people could not relate to it, so they were looking for a form. Then human beings who are in very profound pursuit, who realized the nature of the manifestation and its source, because they realized that which is not, we called them Shiva. So the Shiva that you talk about today, that generally it's worshipped in this land, he doesn't need worship because he sits disinterested. He is not somebody who is going to be influenced by your praise or your offerings of this and that. He simply sits disinterested. This is why a more appropriate description of him is Adiyogi. Shiva means that which is not, because that which is not cannot be seen, heard, smelled, touched. One who realizes that also we hold as Shiva, because one who realizes that becomes the doorway for that. See, when you say my home, if you think of, oh, I'm going home, you're not think of all the rooms and bathroom and toilet and back door and kitchen, no. It's a front door, which is your home. When you arrive, this is my home. You're pointing at the front door and saying, this is my home. So the door is very important. So one who becomes the doorway for that which is not, we call him also Shiva. So this pursuit, what is the point? The point is this: if you know the nature of the source, if you have the time and inclination, you know the nature of everything. If you know something, you will know only something. But if you know nothing, then everything is possible. So this pursuit is the basis of this civilization. This is a land of seeking, not a land that believes. This is a godless land. There is no the God anywhere. As I have told you many times, we know the technology of God-making. Well, there are words like this, we say call something Bhagwan. You must understand the Bhagwan. The word Bhagwan comes from the root word bhaj, which means that you look up to, that you revere, that which is glorious. So if a human being or a tree or a mountain looks glorious to us, we say Bhagwan, because it's worthy of my reverence. Anything that deeply impacts you becomes your Bhagwan. When we say Bhagwan, we are not talking about the God sitting up there in heaven who knows how to manage everything here. No, if you look back at the history of this planet, you obviously know God doesn't know how to manage things. Hello? Are you willing to hand over your life to God and say, do it the way you want? No. Things that are not in your hands, you're willing to give it to him. Things that are in your hands, your money, throw it in front of the temple and go away, let me see. No. What you don't have, of course. Lot of people come to me also and say, Sadhguru, usiru kuduthruve Sadhguru. Ayyo, usiru uduvendappa. That means I'll give my life to you, Sadhguru, right now. Don't hold it, huh? Hold it. If you hold it there and then give yourself, then I know how to use it. If you give it away, what do I do? So, this is not that kind of civilization. This is a civilization of exploration. And whichever way you explore, it is regarded well. You may explore in a very stable, proper manner, or you may explore in freaky ways. Whichever way, as long as you're seeking, in this culture it's okay. There are very systematic disciplines in the country, in this land. At the same time, there are absolutely wild ways. There are agouris, there are tantrics, there are variety of people. Because nothing is a taboo, as long as you're seeking. As long as your intent is to touch the core of life that you are, knowing that the core of life is not somewhere in the center of the galaxy. The core of life is in every life. Whether you're a man, woman, animal, even if you're an ant, the core of life is within you also. All you have to do is find it. All you have to do is find access to it. You don't have to invent it, you don't have to make it up. You just have to find access. Life cannot be happening without the source of life throbbing inside, otherwise it'll not happen. So today, human intellect is not yet but definitely far more active than what it used to be 500 years ago or 300 years ago or even 100 years ago. Becoming less influenced by the dogmas of the times. The dogma can be your religion, the dogma can be the current political ideology that's going about, the dogma can be some local philosophy. At different times, different things have ruled human beings. For the first time in the history of humanity, intellect, the human intellect, is not as ruled by the dogmas of the place or the doctrines of the times as it has been in the past. I believe this is going to be much more in the next 15 to 25 years, where human belief systems will become very thin. People only believe to the extent it's necessary. Already it is so. Hello? Only to the extent it's necessary. Rest is all in your hands. You don't trust anybody. Well, I'm not encouraging that, but it's a good beginning. That you understand, somewhere you understand, unless I handle this life well, it won't work. This means you understand my life is my karma, you're becoming a Hindu. So, you must understand Hindu is not an ism, Hindu is not a religion, Hindu is not a particular way of life as people are trying to define. Hindu is a land. Because of the land, people became Hindu. Because of the people, the civilization became Hindu. Because of the civilization, the nation became Hindustan.